Hello, and welcome back to the Maui Apothecary Magic YouTube channel. My name is Janelle, and I will be talking today about the best protective crystals for you. So I'm wearing a few of them, but I have about 5 that I want to talk about, possibly more, but you know, when I talk story about crystals, it can take a while, so I want to try and keep this short and sweet and give you some really good information. I also just want to say that I will not be referring to any notes in this. I really just want this to all come intuitively and share some stories about how these protective crystals have helped me. Honestly, they probably have helped me in more ways than I even realize, but I have some cool stories I want to share, and it is about 8:30 on a Tuesday, so my human body has already had quite the week, and I was really inspired to come on, but I also wanted to be real, very real, let you guys know I already have a bath drawn for when I'm done recording, and I have some vino with me. I am 29, so this is legal, and if you are over 21, I absolutely invite you to grab some vino as well. And let's have some wine and talk crystals, shall we? Yes. Okay, with that, let's get started with probably the OG protective crystal, the one that I actually use in my protection spell candle, because this really is just a great crystal for dispelling negativity and protection. So I am talking about Black Tourmaline. So I will admit, Black Tourmaline took me a little while to get warmed up to, and quite frankly, it's not one that I necessarily like to have on my body. So, for example, I don't have any Black Tourmaline jewelry. I just am not really drawn to it. However, the times that I am very attracted to it are the days that I feel like a lot of negativity is projected onto me, or I'm just feeling a lot of negativity in the collective. So yesterday when I got home from a really long day at work, I actually reached for the Black Tourmaline, and that was so unlike me, but as always, I feel I am recording this in divine timing. This is a very timely message to talk about protective crystals, because this time of year when the veil is thinning leading up to Halloween, it is it's a little chaotic and it's a little hectic energetically, because we are getting some interference, or we're just a little bit more perceptible to energy beyond the veil. So Black Tourmaline is a really great stone because it not only can absorb negativity off your body, but then it also dispels it. So it literally just like sucks it up and like sends it out, or just like eats it up. I'm not quite sure how it does it, but it's quite beautiful. I also, in my last apartment, I used to put Black Tourmaline by the front door. So it was, number one, protective. So I was, charging it to no one can basically cross my door unless they're invited. So it was doing that. It was serving that purpose. And then the second purpose was for me, if when I walked through the door, it was like an energetic shower, because it was basically like sucking out any of the negativity that was lingering in my aura, and just not letting it, pass the threshold of the door, the portal, the gateway. And I will say though, the Black Tourmaline that I had near my doorway in my last apartment, I probably went through like 5 or 6 pieces because it kept falling and hitting tile and breaking. So I think it was doing its job. My last landlady and I did not have a very good relationship, so I think there was a lot of negativity projected at me, and it actually never got through that threshold, or a lot of it didn't get through that threshold. So I definitely thank the Black Tourmaline for that. And when a crystal breaks, it can mean many things, but I think it was probably just holding on to too much. So in this space, I actually have this beautiful piece of Smokey Quartz. It's a very very dark piece of smoky quartz. That's actually what drew me to it. I have a lot of lighter, especially on my website, I have a lot of lighter smoky quartz, but I was just so intrigued by how beautiful and dark this one was, that I was just like, oh my gosh, when I first saw it, I was like, that's mine. So this one is actually by my doorway now. And smoky quartz, it is in the quartz family. I find it to be similar to clear quartz, but not necessarily. Like, clear quartz is going to give you that like straight clarity. This, I feel like, is a really good at just like cycling out energy that you don't need so then you can get to that clarity, but it's not necessarily that laser energy that I feel from clear quartz. I love smoky quartz. I have been very drawn and attracted to it even more, and yeah, especially this year I've acquired a good amount of pieces, and the other great part about smoky quartz is it will really bring you back down to earth. It'll bring you back into your body. So if you are basically like experiencing a spiritual awakening, or you just feel really ungrounded or really floaty, and that's not something you want to be experiencing. Some people like it, but if that's not something you want to be experiencing, this is really going to anchor you back into your body. So that's kind of why I love smoky quartz so much, and I just think this is just like such a gorgeous piece because of how dark it is, and I just love it. So this is what I have by my front door now, and I think it does the trick, because when I walk through the threshold of this home, I do feel very grounded, and I feel like, okay, here I'm in a totally new environment now, like, and I'm here and I'm present, and like, let's go. And I think it does also have that benefit of like being an auric cleanser, like the Black Tourmaline is, where if you are having like things lingering in your aura, I think it'll suck it up as well. And smoky quartz, just like clear quartz, it's not one that you ever have to do anything with. It's gonna clear itself. It's gonna cleanse itself. You know, there's nothing you have to do with it. You don't need to put it in the sun. You don't need to charge it. You don't need to put it in water. Nothing. Like, you can just it just like lives its life. Like, just let it live its best life. So speaking about grounding, so this would be very easy to do of just like, oh, I'm just going to talk about dark crystals, but I wanted to not just talk about dark crystals. I thought that was pretty easy. I also didn't even really want to talk about Black Tourmaline, but it's just like the OG, that it was like, the equivalent would be like, if I was doing a live about the best crystals for love, like the love frequency, I couldn't leave out rose quartz, you know? So it's just it's just the OG. It's just like, it is the fundamental protection crystal. It is a fundamental crystal for negativity, and you know, the times that I have had it on my body, it's really funny because there have been multiple times where I've, you know, just like, oh, I think I need a Black Tourmaline today, so I just stuck it in my pocket and, you know, went on my way. And those are the times that people approach me and were having such a hard day, and I think it was like they could feel that I wasn't carrying any negativity, so they felt like they could open up to me. And every time I was like, I have the perfect crystal for you. Here you go. And I've given it to them, and I'm like, I don't care if you lose it. Like, they're all going back to the earth anyways. But I was like, you need this more than I do. So I think that that's kind of cool because I never really noticed that before. And that's also the great thing about having your crystals out in the world, is you can see the magic that they do. It actually, I think, drew people to me who were experiencing a lot of negativity, so then I could give it to them and then help them dispel their negativity. Like I said, it was one that I like came home yesterday, I just reached for, and that's so uncommon, but it's just so nice to know that it's in my tool belt and in my arsenal and here when I need it, because it's definitely not my normal go-to, but when the energies are that heavy and dense, it's a lot of emotions, like it really helps just like, okay, let's clear out the things that aren't yours. Another note about yesterday, when I got home, I came home and I had a package, unexpected package, because I like literally just ordered it from the East Coast, and usually things take like a long time to get here, but the crystals must have just like transported themselves because they knew that I needed them. So what came home, what was here when I got here was beads, and it's garnet. This is a garnet and black onyx. I have been loving black onyx lately. lately. This is a black onyx ring, and this is my black onyx guardian. I have been loving it lately because what it does is it actually protects your stamina. I am a projector in human design, so I'm a non-energy type. I'm not a manifestor, I'm not a generator, I'm not a manifesting generator, so I don't have this like unlimited, boundless like energy, keep going, keep going, keep going. So it really like puts, I feel that it like, and I can kind of see like it puts this shield up of like, okay, this is how much you can give, and we're going to help you with your boundaries. So I find it to be really, really helpful because I'm not expelling energy that I don't have. It can read how much energy I have, and I feel like it kind of like blocks out when things are getting too much. It's just like, you're not going to deal with that person today, or like, you're going to intentionally miss that call but not know that the call was coming through. You know, it just is really, really great and protective that way. And so, you know, after having such a hard, stressful, emotional kind of day, it was really nice that Black Onyx was here and Garnet was here, because the Garnet and the combination is so beautiful and powerful. So I'm definitely going to be making more, because I've already had a few requests that people are like, wow, yeah, I can tell that's really powerful, and those are some really strong protective and grounding stones. Like, I'd love one of those too. So yeah, I will be making more of them, and then I will just be making some more straight Garnet and straight Black Onyx as well, because I know some people don't like to mix, but I just find that this mixture is really, really beautiful, really powerful, really grounding, and super protective. Yeah, within a few hours, you know, with working with the crystals, making bracelets, but then also like, you know, being close to my Black Tourmaline, I just like kind of looked around after a few hours and I was like, oh wow, things are good. Like, we worked through that. Like, I really was able to control my emotions, get my emotions in check, work through some things, and really just like come back down and be human. And I was even tested too, and I wasn't triggered by it like I was for a second, and then I was just like, no, the only thing me being mad or triggered about this does is it affects my you know, stasis. It just affects me. So like, just, I can't control that, so I'm just going to let it go. And I'm just not even going to think about it because it doesn't really matter. And I just want to protect my own well-being, because honestly, like anger, that's something that I've learned a lot about, like anger and rage this year, is that really it only hurts you and your energy levels. Like, you will feel burnt out the next day. You will feel, because I could have gotten worked up and I was just like, no, I'm just going to let it go. I could have, you know, started an argument, but I was like, no, it doesn't deserve my energy. So, and I really feel like the Black Onyx was telling me, like, you know, protect your stamina, protect your energy. It really helps with the boundaries. So I definitely will be wearing this one more. I just love this clear quartz one. So I'm sure you guys have seen this before in my videos. This is the one that I never have to take off. Like I said, you don't have to do anything with clear quartz. So that's why I love it. But I know that the Black Onyx can hold on to a little bit. It can hold on to energy. So you just a little bit more work that you have to do with that, making sure you're taking it off, maybe putting it on like a selenite charging plate, you know, clearing it off, maybe even just using sage or Palo Santo, you know, with some smoke, and just, you know, cleansing it. So it does, because it will retain the energy. So, and then since I'm already on that page as well, I did want to just add Garnet in. I know I'm talking about protective crystals. This is like my Garnet meatball. I know I'm talking about protective crystals, but I find a Garnet to be very, very protective, especially of like, this might sound weird, but like very protective of like your sexual organs. It's not gonna really allow any unwanted energy, unwanted advances to come near you. I mean, that might be like far off for some people, but like that's just how I really feel, because it's so grounding and it really does allow you to sink fully into your root chakra, and just like, yeah, just like freely express your sexual energy, but in the way that's comfortable for you, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense, but, and then it matches my wine, so it's a good time to take a sip. I hope you guys got some wine, if you're over 21. But yeah, so I love this combination. I find it really powerful, really grounding. and super protective. Yeah, yes. Yes, oh, I love this one. This one is on my nightstand. So I'm going to do a whole video talking about the ways that you can wear crystals and feng shui, like where in your home is a good setup, even talking about crystal grids, like which you know, crystals vibe better with each other. So that'll be a totally other video, but just for me personally, this one does very, very well in my bedroom, on my nightstand table, just really like grounding and anchoring me all the way down into my root chakra. And then, so this one might be surprising, but like I said, I didn't want to do all dark crystals. I wanted to bring in some others. So this is Aquamarine. This is a little fox. Sorry, my nails are like chipping, but so this is an Aquamarine fox, and this is his little charging plate. So this is his little altar, and that's where he lives. I'm also wearing an Aquamarine bracelet. And this is good for people who are very sensitive to energy. Like I said, the Black Tourmaline can be a lot. The Garnet can be heavy for some people. I think Smokey Quartz is great, but some people might just not be drawn to it. You know, some people aren't drawn to dark crystals. I love dark crystals, but some people just aren't drawn to them. So a great alternative, like especially if you just have a really like, if you're just very light, like you have a lot of light body, you have a lot of sensitivity, though they might be too grounding, too harsh for you. So Aquamarine is a great, great, great alternative. Whenever I have this, oh, it's just like a breath of fresh air. But whenever I have this around or I'm wearing it, I feel like I have this bubble around me, but it's like I said, it's a light bubble. Like it's something that someone who is only like very sensitive will pick up on. So if you're very sensitive, then you would pick up on that, and it would feel very like light and airy and breathable. But you would also feel protected. It's kind of like, the only thing that I can kind of think to describe it is like, it's like having like a protection of angels around you, just because the energy is so light and airy. It's not dense at all, but I do feel this like bubble around me, but it's like a bubble of angels. That's the best way I can describe it. And I honestly, I don't know why I was so drawn to the fox, but like I saw this fox on like a live crystal sale, and I was like, I need that fox. And then when I saw the charging plate, I was like, oh, it wants to live on the charging plate. And then I found the ring after that. So yeah, this one is relatively new for me in my life, probably only a couple months, but it continues to amaze me. And yeah, very unexpected for a crystal that's so light to also have all that protection. But like I said, it's like having your guardian angels around you. It's like having them be like, you know, just kind of miss things, you know, things go past you and around you, whereas, you know, in the past they might have like hit you, but this is like your guardian angels are like, no, let's just have it go over there instead. So it's really beautiful. I highly recommend Aquamarine. It is a little bit pricey. That is the thing that I will mention. Out of all of these, the priciest so far are the Aquamarine and the Garnet. The Smokey is reasonable. Black Tourmaline is super reasonable, which is good, because Black Tourmaline would be, you know, honestly, it would be, if you don't have any protective crystals at all, it's a great one to start with, because you're clearly going to feel the energy, and you're going to be very perceptive on, oh, wow, okay, I feel a really big shift. Like, you know, if having a negative day, having a bad day, you know, having it on you, or like what I did, like came home and I just grabbed it right away and I just sat with it for a little while, like, you know, an hour or so. And then I was able to go for a walk, and that felt better. And then it just kept getting better and better and better. Like my day just kept getting better and better and better, because I feel like I reached for this. I was like, okay, yeah, I need this. I probably picked up on a lot of other people's negativity. And then even more interesting is that other negativity was thrown at me even later in the day. And at that point, it missed me. You know, it was just like, I don't want to engage with that. You know, I'm choosing not to engage with that. I'm choosing to conserve my energy. And I think that's definitely the black onyx helped with that. But it might have, I think it was the black tourmaline that got me to that place where I was non-reactive. Whereas if that happened any earlier in the day, I totally would have been reactive. I would have felt attacked. I would have, and I just would have gone off. So yes. So the last and final, so I think I'm making good time here. I thought this was going to take a lot longer, so this is good. This is good. Let me stop for some wine. Name this crystal. This is my last and final one. This isn't the form that you usually see it in. Like, this isn't its most popular form. So okay, I'll spare you the suspense. So this is black kyanite. And I just love how, like, see how it's a little bit sparkly too? Ugh, it's gorgeous. So I will have these listed on my website within the next couple days. I don't yet, but I will, because these are really, really great. So the best thing about black kyanite, well, I mean, kyanite in general is definitely like a third eye stone. Kyanite can help you with your psychic vision, but the thing I love about black kyanite is it's great for psychic attacks. So you might know if you experience a psychic attack is if you are experiencing thoughts that don't seem to be yours. Like, you're like, this isn't my thought. Where did that come from? Like, something will just kind of hit you out of nowhere, and it'll shift your mood completely. So that's kind of why I love black kyanite, like, especially this time when the veil is so thin. I don't feel like I'm picking up on a lot of that. Like, I feel pretty well protected. You know, I also have been, you know, in the practice of reaching more towards protective stones. For the past several weeks. So I feel very protected. But if anyone feels very exposed, like maybe you just had an awakening, or maybe you just had like some sort of like supernatural experience, or even like seeing UFOs, or like having really crazy dreams, yeah, thoughts that aren't your own, like I said, or even like if you have a psychedelic experience, like even without, you know, consuming anything, but you just have this like supernatural kind of like psychedelic experience, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? But you might be like freaked out about it. Kyanite is so good for that, because it's gonna make sure it's seriously gonna protect you from psychic attacks. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna experience those thought forms that aren't you, or entities that are attaching to you, because that can definitely happen, especially early on in awakening, if your channels are very open and clear. Like, I know when I had my awakening, like my crown chakra was bust open, my third eye was bust open, like all my chakras were really bust open, but I was having a really hard time of grounding, so I definitely was I can never say this word, susceptible. I think I got it, because I was so open. It's like a good analogy. It's like a moth to a flame. When you are, you know, vibing high, let's say that, yeah, when you're vibing high, you're very open. You don't really have the psychic boundaries that you learn to develop because of the psychic attacks. Then yeah, you're exposed. You're exposed. So, and I'm not saying that to scare anyone. Just setting the intentions and not kind of going in places that you shouldn't be going, like trying to channel entities that you don't know, and that you're not doing a thorough like questioning of, like, are you a being of light? Or, you know, why are you speaking to me? Who are you? What's your name? Like, what's going on? Why are you in my space? Why are you in my mind? Like, why do you want to channel with me? You know, and even just calling upon, like, even before I hopped on this, I was like, I call upon the beings of the highest dimensions of light and love, all others I bind for me. So I wouldn't have known how to do that, you know, several years ago, but that's like just a very simple thing, but your intentions are powerful and your words are powerful, they're spells. So just doing that and having that knowledge is really helpful, because of this time when there is a lot of interference from beyond the veil. Once again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone. I'm saying this to empower you. There are ways to empower yourself through asking a million questions. If you are starting to channel something and you're like, and just tuning in, having discernment. Does this feel light and love and airy, or does this feel dense and heavy and depressing? You know, what is the purpose of this? Even thoughts that aren't your own. Like, I was picking up on, even with the connections you have, let's just say that, like with the relationships that you have, like if you're very open, you can sometimes hear and feel what other people are thinking or saying or feeling and experiencing. So when you're so open like that and they're not having the highest thoughts, but they're actually having very like depressing or suicidal thoughts, and I'm like, that's definitely not my thought. Where is that coming from? And then doing the investigative work to be like, okay, yeah, that's not my own. I clearly have a cord here. Let's cut this cord. Let's clear it, like with love, send them away with love. But those are not things that I want to be experiencing. Those are not my thoughts. Those are not my own. And I just feel really bad for people who don't have that. I don't feel bad, but I have a lot of empathy for people who are going through such an early stage of a spiritual awakening, because it's like a moth to a really bright flame and there's no glass around it. The glass around the flame is your boundaries and your discernment and, the questions that you ask if you do start channeling. So to make sure that you're not letting things through that glass, because it's also very hard to get rid of entities and get rid of connections once you've let them in. But the only way that no one can ever take your power, only you can give your power away. So just have that awareness, have that discernment that you are an extremely powerful being. You are a being that others want to connect with and possibly interfere with, or you're having a human experience, and there are a lot of forms out there that don't and wish they were. So just don't get hijacked. Know your power. Know that you are extremely powerful. Your words are magic. They're spells. And that setting the intentions and clearing your space and having crystals like these around you are going to empower you. And so therefore, like, these aren't things that I worry about are anymore, because I have cleared, in the past, very harmful entities that were attached to me, and it was not a great experience to clear them, but it was an even worse experience to have them hanging along for the ride without even knowing and being unaware that this is where a lot of my doubt and fear and staying small and playing small was coming from, was actually an entity attached to me. So it was an extremely powerful experience when that cleared, but I don't think that would have happened. It didn't happen before I had crystals. It happened after I started acquiring crystals, because the crystals want to help us. We're here, we're having this human experience, and they want to help us have that human experience to absolutely the highest degree and levels that we can. So I'm just gonna go through them really quickly one more time. So Black Tourmaline was the first one. This is dispelling negative energy, repelling it as well. Then we did Smokey Quartz, which is a very great grounding stone, but also a protective stone. Is going to clear out kind of anything in your auric field that is not yours. I kind of forget what order we went in, but sorry. This is Black Onyx, some more Black Onyx, and some more Black Onyx and Garnet. This is really great. It's going to protect you and your stamina and your energy. It's not going to allow people to, you've heard the term energy vampire. It's not going to allow for that. It's going to be like, get out of here. This isn't, no. And it'll even block people. It'll block people from accessing your energy, which I freaking love. So it's like, but it also just is going to, complement anything, any of the boundaries that you are setting. It's going to complement it. But if you are having completely open boundaries, like, just don't get some Black Onyx and think like, oh, I don't need to have boundaries anymore. Like, no, you still have to have boundaries, but this is going to help with energetic boundaries that are so subtle that you might not even notice. And then garnet is a very grounding and protective stone. I find it to be very protective of the sexual organs, and not allowing unwanted energy in there, because that can even happen with entities and things that are not embodied as well. So just be aware of that. Use your power. Stay powerful. Stay discerning. And sleep next to a garnet. And then I did the Aquamarine, which was more like the angelic kind of protection. I felt just like this bubble of really light energy, that is like guardian angel kind of energy, and I just love it. It's like, it's, yes, out of all of these two, I feel like this is like, just has really, 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 really nice energy for people who are so sensitive to energy. Some of these, like I said, the Black Tourmaline might be a little harsh, might be a little much, but this is just really, really nice, really nice, especially for people who are very lovely and nice. That's a really great stone. And then I believe last but not least was a Black Kyanite, and this is your psychic protector. So that's just a quick little video about some really timely crystals that I hope will serve you, and most of them I do have available on my website. I will post the link below. Some of them I do need to upload, but they will be there shortly. So I hope everyone has a wonderful full moon coming up on Halloween. I will likely do a video on that day, maybe doing a reading. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to plan these out too much, but I'm a Taurus, and I love Scorpio energy, so I have a feeling I will be doing a lot of inward journeying. I've had a lot of memories and stuff come up this past week, and I just feel like I need to really like embrace my human experience, you know, kind of not really be in the teacher seat. But we'll see. We'll see. It's like I shouldn't even plan these out, just because whenever the inspiration hits, I just need to go. So, anyways, I am loving you. I hope that this served you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I will be back. Aloha!